thing that 2020 has taught me is that it's not so much about the destination, it's about the journey. So whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to accomplish, make sure that you slow down, take in the process, and enjoy the ride.
When thinking back about 2020, I think the one thing that I really learned is to not take anything for granted. My injury that I sustained back in October really put things into perspective for me and more of a positive outlook moving forward.
2020 taught me to be flexible. I had goals set for this year that I wasn't able to accomplish because of meet cancellations, gym closures, and so on. Things didn't go as planned this year, but I learned to adapt. The timeline may change, but the end goal is still the same.
In 2020, I learned that life has its ups and downs, but if you remain patient and focus on your goals, at the end of the day, everything will work its way out and you'll achieve that and more.
I already knew that change was inevitable, sometimes under my control, sometimes it's not. But what I did learn is that when there is a situation that needs to change, that I just need to trust my gut and make the move and trust in my abilities and go for it.
Something valuable that I learned in 2020, especially with this pandemic going on, is that if you're determined, nothing can get in your way. It's been a crazy year, but if you have a goal, just keep going for it. Don't give up.
The most important thing that I've learned in 2020 was how to be a father. My son was born just a little over a year ago today, so I spent most of 2020 learning how to be the best dad that I can be.
If there's one thing I learned in 2020, or maybe more appropriately had reaffirmed, it's the fact that it's me and me alone who is responsible for whether I sink or swim.
I gotta say the number one thing that I learned in 2020 is to never take anything for granted. A lot of in this life is a privilege that could get taken away from you, especially for me when the gym is shut down. It was tough to get our training in, and you just value just having a gym that would give access to you.
2020 taught me the value of teamwork. Throughout this whole entire year, there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding the pandemic and the well-being of our business, and we were able to come together and actually end up the year in a much better place than we started.
What I've learned in 2020 is about uncertainty. We lived very comfortably for a long time, and this year we've understood what uncertainty really means and how it impacts our lives. Learning to live your own life, accept things you cannot change, focus on things you can change, and of course being prepared for tomorrow.
I learned this year that even though I didn't compete in any contest in 2020 and it was super frustrating, it's cool. It's out of our control. I was healthy, I was able to enjoy time with my ohana, and also still be able to work out.
2020 has really taught that just like you have to be selective about the exercises you do in the gym, you have to wisely choose your battles when it comes to discussing or arguing socio-political issues, especially emotionally charged and sensitive ones. It's much easier said than done, but to quote the Buddha, sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right.
In 2020, the importance that I placed on the value of my time became increasingly clear. All the time that I was forced to stay at home, not be at the gym, not work, that was all a great time that I had with my family. And then when I could work or when I could work out, that was all great.
The most important thing that I learned in 2020 was that if you solely base your goals on motivation, it was easy for those things to crumble with everything that unfolded this year. Having the determination to overcome the obstacles that were in place definitely allowed me to supersede what I was looking for this year and hold on to that.
What did you learn?